Jazzcast Pros.
Welcome all to the Stir 716. I'm here, the doc, your girl, with my co-host, Miss T, the Spark, and of course, cool cousin Kim. And we want to welcome you all and thank you all for joining us today for October as we honor Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is a time that is dedicated to education, early detection, and celebration, the strength and resilience of survivors, fighters, and their loved ones. Speaking of survivors, we want to welcome our girl, Sharon, also known as Sadie Sanford, who is the president of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. She is also the founder of Sadie Strong Project that offers a variety of programs, services that provide awareness, information, support, empowerment to those that are affected by breast cancer.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to The Stir, the only podcast where education meets conversation. And we're stirring up the issues that matter most. Education, housing, healthcare, food, justice, and equity. Grab a pen, grab a cup,
even grab your spoon, because
this is The Stir.
Everybody, I want you to welcome Miss Sadie Sanford.
Well, I'm so excited to be here. Thank y'all so much for that great introduction and the warm welcome. I feel like I'm sitting right around my sisters here because we are all sisters. So I'm here to talk about Sadie Strong and my journey with breast cancer. So my name is Sharon Sanford, and all of my friends call me Sadie. I've had that nickname since I was a little girl. My dad gave it to me, and he saw me and he said that that's who you are. So all of my friends call me Sadie. And when I turned 50, I had a routine mammogram that came back that I had breast cancer. So I've been getting a mammogram since I was 40 because I think that is very, very, very important for us to take care of our health, know our bodies, know our family history, and that sort of thing. So I was just getting annual mammograms. I didn't really know anybody who'd ever had breast cancer. So it wasn't like, I had a family history of it or anything, but I was just, turned 50, I got it. Supposed to get a mammogram, right? Just like you get a physical and those things. So women, one thing, we have to get tested and we have to take care of our health.
Yes.
So when I turned 50, when I had that mammogram, when it came back that I had breast cancer. Wow. And it had spread to my lymph nodes. And so when you get that phone call, right? So I get a phone call. So you go and I took the mammogram. They said, hey, we see something. Now we need to go do a sonogram. So I'm going through this series of what is going on right now.
Right.
Who do I call? I'm in a room. And this was during a time when they gave you the results right away. And they showed you your imaging on the screen. So when I walked in, I saw something that's not right.
Okay. Right.
And so we went through at that time, they tried to push, we can do this on Monday. No, we're going to do it right now.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm here. We will do everything.
That's right. Right now.
Right.
Like this is urgent. You want me to sleep the weekend with this?
Right.
Okay. What am I going to? And this was on a Friday.
Wow.
So this was on a Friday that I had the mammogram, and so I go through the testing, and they said, okay, well, then they had to do that. They did a sonogram, and then they did a biopsy. All of this stuff on this one Friday afternoon.
Wow.
And so I had to sit on this. So I went home and, I called my husband in the car. I had to sit on this for the weekend, right? So the weekend, you have to still maintain your regular everyday experience. So Monday, I figured nobody called me on Monday, so I must be good, right?
Right.
I got home from work and it was about 5:30 and I get the call.
Somebody went through their whole day and after making you wait for the weekend, give you a call at 5.
And so, and it was like when I got the phone call, the woman on the other line just sounded like Charlie Brown's teacher after she said ductal carcinoma. I don't know what that means because I don't have a family history of breast cancer.
Right.
Basically, I had breast cancer that spread to my lymph nodes. So now, I have to get off the phone. And the first thing I did is said, God help me. Because I know that God has to be my first option and not just our last result. So I knew that,
Yes.
Lord, I had no answers. You have all of the answers. And so I called on God first. And then I sat there and I said, you know, I got to tell my husband, and I can hear him downstairs talking on the phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when he came upstairs and I said, I got a phone call, you know, and I told him what they said. And he said, well, we have to go to grandmother's house right now and pray.
Ooh, my God.
So
you got you a priest.
Listen,
you
that's
understand?
right.
But that's what God does. Like when you're connected, when you connect, because we're going to go through a storm.
Oh, yes.
Life. Either we're in it, we're on the way to it, or we're on the way out.
That's it. Yes,
3 phases of a storm.
Oh,
right. You know, so we get in the car on the way over there. I call my father and I tell him, I call my mother, because you got to tell your parents, right?
Yes.
By the time I got to my grandmother's house, my father was sitting in the driveway.
Wow.
Coming for his daughter, huh?
So I'm daddy's girl.
Showing up. That's right.
It's Sadie.
It's Sadie.
Yes.
Oh, my
right.
goodness.
And so when he looked at me, he said, Sadie, Jesus is on the boat. And so I'm like, okay, you know, and so what he's telling me is that when you go through the storm, when you have Jesus on your boat, the storms can toss that boat everywhere. But as long as you had that connection, the storms won't touch you.
Oh, you came to preach.
Listen.
That's what this journey was about for me. And that's what I'm going to get y'all to Sadie Strong. So
yes.
Yes. We with you.
So
yes.
We get in the house and we pray. You know, my grandmother, she just recently passed away at 99 and a half years old.
How wonderful. 99.
Family. She is why I know Jesus is real. And so we prayed. And then, you know, now it's like, okay, who do I tell? Do I tell people this? So I told my close circle, my sister circle. And after we cried, you know, we cried together. That's what sisters do, right?
Yes.
And so they sent me, when I got to work, I had an edible arrangement with a note on it that said, you've been assigned this mountain to show others that it can be moved.
Wow. You got a strong support
Powerful.
system. They said, look, we're going to cry, but then we're going to remind you, okay,
that's it.
That to whom much is given, much is required. So they basically put a mandate on you to get through.
Absolutely.
They put, and from that point on, like just the love just flowed, you know?
Wow.
And so, you know, I started the journey. Like, I know, okay, God, you have me, like, you're here to help me. We're connected to you. You're on the boat, and I've been assigned this, right? And so you're not going to leave me, right? So let's just go through it. And so that's how it started. That's how it started. October 30th, 2017.
In the month of October.
The month of October. And it's funny. Let me tell y'all this funny thing. But at our October chapter meeting for the sorority, I won the breast cancer basket. I wasn't diagnosed.
Wasn't even diagnosed.
Jesus. And that basket was sitting on it was a big basket too. It had all this stuff in there, and it was sitting on my dining room table. I wanted to throw that basket on the ground.
I know you did. Like, you got, like, I don't want that now. I want that basket.
I don't want it.
I want to ask you a quick question about mindset, because sometimes, like, to get and let me just share some of my story as well. I had cancer too, thyroid cancer, and didn't know that it was thyroid cancer until after they took the thyroid out. But I was having all types of symptoms. I had nodules and all that other stuff. It was hoarseness in my voice and all that other stuff. So they didn't know until after it came out. And thank God, to God be the glory, that it was so small. Like, I didn't need radiation or chemo or anything like that. That is out, is gone. Praise the Lord. But I can tell you that even with that, even though it's out, in my mind, still even today, and that was in September of 2023. It's been 2 years. In my mind, sometimes I'm still like, am I sick? You know, like, if I get a sore throat, I'll be like, wait, like, I'm sick, because it's almost like trauma. I just want to ask you, like, with your mindset, help us to understand, how did you get through emotionally and, like, mentally? Because, you know, a lot of times we as women, we carry this stuff, and I know we have spouses and, like you said, father, mother, sisters and stuff, but in the midnight hour, the enemy is telling us you dying.
Right.
you ain't gonna make it. All this praying and stuff you doing, and you almost have to trick like yourself, tell yourself like that's a lie. The devil is a lie. How did you? I just want to hear your story about that. Like, how would your mind being at peace with everything that was happening?
You have to, first of all, you have to speak life words. You have to
Yes.
speak life words, and you have to surround yourself with people who speak life words. I'll be honest, well, of course I cried. Like there will be times,
Yes.
but what I found is when you're the strong person in your circle, when you're the strong person in your life, like you can't, there's a pressure that you can't fall apart, So I think that if I fell apart, my husband was going to fall apart. My 3 children.
Wow.
So my friends were going to fall apart, my family. So there's a pressure, and it's unfair, and women put it on ourselves,
Yeah.
Even when you're going through challenging times, you feel like I got to be the bigger person to hold it together for everybody else, because if I don't, then now they're not going to be good. And it's really not fair, but it's you do. But so for me, like in the tub, I would cry by myself. I would do that by myself, but I spent a lot of time with God in the morning. So
Amen.
It was
Amen.
songs that started my day off, and I would sit in my dining room and I would put, how you have the big note papers that you write down. I had those on my dining room table, and I would write scriptures, and I would write
Yes.
when people did, because let me tell you, I was so blessed during this time. Now I hadn't even I'm when I got to chemo, let me tell you, when I get there was 2 weeks. This is one of the challenges that I'll say too.
Okay.
There was 2 weeks before I even found what the diagnosis was. So you can't get it to a doctor, right?
Right.
Oh, wow.
You got to find a doctor, right? Because you don't have a cancer doctor if you don't have a history of it. So
right.
I called one of my sorority sisters who's a doctor, like after we got it together, and she gave me a recommendation. She told me, you don't have to rush right now. This isn't a speed thing that you have to get to this second. So just be a little bit patient, and here's some recommendations. So that was a blessing to have people in your network that you can reach out to.
Absolutely. Yes.
2 weeks was like, it was a long time to not know. I don't know what stage I am. And now everybody wants to ask you all of these questions.
Yeah.
What are you in? What is this? What? I don't know. Please don't ask me anymore. Every time you ask me, it brings up the fact that I got
cancer. Right.
Wow, you have been so resilient. Right. I know you're going to talk about the Sadie Strong Project. I remember being a part of that when it first started, and we had our T-shirts and stuff like that. But when she talks about the mindset, and as a mental health nurse practitioner, I worked at Roswell, and I felt that was one of the deficits that they had was not the personnel to follow continuum of care when it comes to the mental portion of a diagnosis of cancer. You tell someone, like you mentioned the want, like a Charlie Brown, because when that initial shock, everything after that shuts off. You're not understanding what's going on. But I think for the mental part of it, the anxiousness of it and the depressive part of it, if there's no follow through, even after the survivorship of it, there still needs to be some continuum when it comes to the mental portion. So how do you deal with that after effect now that you have survived breast cancer? Like, how do you deal with that, knowing that there's others, or there's always a possibility of return for different things? How do you deal with that mentally?
It breaks my heart every time I hear somebody that's diagnosed. It breaks my heart, especially when they're young.
Yes.
Even like if I watch it on television, I tore up. I love The Shy, right? The Shy.
But then yes.
And because in the back of your mind, it always is a possibility. Every time I go get an MRI or a mammogram, it's just the thought. I believe that I'm healed.
Amen.
I believe that God healed me and restored me.
Yes.
Right? So I have to, I stand on faith.
Yes.
Right? but it's not like people think that, oh, you have faith, but I still have concerns.
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
still have trauma.
Your concerns
Mhm.
are valid. Oftentimes people
Mhm.
think that our posture in faith is that we're not also aware of the reality, right?
Mm.
Because faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen.
Not seen.
So healing is the evidence of a thing not yet seen. That's what we're walking towards, is the healing. And as Tasha was talking about the mindset, Mrs. T was talking about the mindset, and Doc was talking about the mindset, I almost wanted to answer that question for you. Like, wait a minute. Did y'all hear this lady said she was a woman of faith, and the first thing her husband and her went to do was pray? The first thing you said was, God help me. Then you went and you told your husband, and he said, let's go pray. And the Bible says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivered them out of them all. So if you're going to speak life and you're going to speak the word, this is an affliction. So to our listening audience that's listening to Miss Sadie Strong, and you may be going, you just got a diagnosis right now. You may be a man, because we know that is a myth that men cannot get
That's
breast
right.
cancer. That is a
That's
lie. You
right.
can.
Right.
You may be listening. I want to remind you this on this evening that cancer is an affliction, but many are the afflictions of the
Yes.
righteous, but the Lord delivered them out of them all.
Yes.
So I'm
Absolutely.
just so happy that Miss Sadie is a believer,
Yes.
and that
Yes.
makes it all the more stronger of a
Yes.
testimony, because we don't mean to preach on here, but we saved, right? And the Bible
Listen.
says we overcome by the
Yes,
blood of the
Bible.
Lamb and by
That's
the
it.
word of our
Right. But see,
testimony.
it's an
Testimony.
her story is of
It
encouragement,
really is.
empowerment to others, because you do have people out here that are not as faithful.
Right.
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 And they need someone, they need to hear someone that has gone through it, and just to feel that personal connection somewhere, somehow. Not to say that they won't get to that point of faith-based, but a lot of people, to be honest, are not in faith. They say it, but do they truly believe?
But it's not anchored.
And not anchored.
So
Right. Just to be there to give that awareness and that support and that encouragement, and for people to see that out there, to know that God is in the healing business.
He surely is.
And he take all kind of insurances.
Listen, underinsured, uninsured.
Listen.
So when you say affected, because for me, I was personally affected because I had 3 close people who passed away from breast cancer. And one was a sorority sister, Tamika Oates. So I'm going to give shout outs to them in remembrance to Pam Melton Owens, Tamika Oates, and Libby Gaiman. 2 of them were young, in their 30s, that passed away from it. And it was, personal for me. And when I see things too, it hits me as well, just the fact as a Black woman, and knowing the disparities and the mortality rate that occurs with us. I was watching a movie, and I don't know if you ladies know of it. It was the Sheila Johnson story. She was diagnosed at 43 years old, and she started this program for Black women and Black men, because, like Cool Cousin Kim stated, men can get breast cancer, and I think sometimes we leave them out. But although she was high ranking in the military and she was well respected, she still was met with the disparities as a Black woman of treatment options for her. She was just shoved aside. Like you said, they give you this diagnosis and they leave you with that. If you're not medically into the verbiage, you have no clue of what you're being told. So, and then when you're telling someone that has no clue about what's happening and what the treatment options are, that's where the disparities come in. So speaking of that, with your advocacy, what do you attest to that part of with breast cancer treatment and the disparities of African American women?
I think that one, we need to, like I said earlier, we need to know our body, right?
Yeah.
We need to know our family history. So those 2 things right away, we need to understand, because when we do, then we have to have the confidence to be able to talk to our medical healthcare professionals. And sometimes we don't know how. And if we have one that is not listening to us, because that happens, they'll put you off. Oh no, that's just this. Then it might be time to find another healthcare provider. And what we try to do through Sadie Strong, and I'll talk a little bit about how Sadie Strong came to be, is we create opportunities for the community to have one-on-one time with doctors to ask questions, ask questions. We're having on Saturday as our Sadie Strong Health and Wellness Expo. It's our 7th annual one. And during that time, we're going to have the Ask the Doctor panel. And it's an opportunity for the community to just really have a conversation and ask the doctors questions about a variety of different things. But the self-advocacy, what do I ask the doctor, or what do I do if I'm telling the doctor that I have this problem and you're not listening to me?
Right.
Because that's one of the challenges with younger people today. Insurance doesn't really allow you to get your mammogram until age 40, but we are seeing over and over and over that there are women in their 20s and 30s that are being and you're not tested yet. So if you don't know your body, and if something, by the time if you feel a lump, that's probably been there for a little while.
A while.
You know what I'm saying? And so we try to teach women and give them the empowerment to really ask and seek the medical advice, So that's really important. And like I said, I didn't know the terminology.
Right.
And this is very important, Miss Sadie, because, and I like what Sadie Strong Project does, because I've participated in research studies, and we found with hypertension and diabetes that education was one of the biggest and most effective interventions. And so as I listen to you speak, even with those that are younger that have received the diagnosis, it appears as if those self-advocacy is like the pre-trial you have to go through to be able to advocate for yourself to the provider because of the treatment disparities and access to care. We know that Black women experience significant delays and disparities in breast cancer treatment. Just think about it. As you were telling your story, the woman said, we could take care of this Monday. Who wants to sit throughout the weekend?
Through the weekend.
That's like when I was younger and I get terminated on a Friday. I'm like, I gotta sit the whole weekend. I can't even apply nowhere. Getting arrested on a Friday, you're not seeing a judge till Monday. But Black women are more likely to receive treatment later than white women. They're less likely to receive radiation therapy after surgery, and they're less likely to receive optimal systemic treatment, which is important. And 37% of excess mortality risks are amongst Black women. Yeah. So I just wanted to state some of those facts. And I think Tasha and Doc may have another question. And we are going to end this segment with a little bit of Mythbusters. And so I'm going to ask you about some myths, Miss Sadie. And then I'm also going to tell our listening audience about some myths. Because I'm going to tell you, for me, my mom to this day, I do not wear bras with a wire. Because my mom said bras with a wire cause breast cancer. I used to work out and put my phone in my bra. My mom used to say that doing that causes breast cancer. So we're going to find out if those are myths or facts. And so we want to make sure that our listening audience leaves with some of those old wives' tales that are myths and are not true. And that the best way to find out if you have breast cancer or not is to go get tested.
Let me quickly tell you how I founded Sadie Strong. I told you that I would spend mornings with the Lord, right? Writing down things. What should we do? So the first thing I said, hey, I want to start a movement. We did t-shirts that said, we believe God, because I wanted collective prayer. I wanted people to come together for my healing, right?
Right.
So wear your shirt, take a picture. So people had their shirts on the 1-year anniversary of my diagnosis, I went down and started Sadie Strong. I said, I want to take the pain from that date. So now that date is no longer the date that I was diagnosed. It's the date that we founded Sadie Strong. And so Sadie Strong is an empowerment breast cancer support program that inspires healthy lifestyles. It encourages early detection and mammograms. And really just, we want to get women to take control of their health. Healthy women create healthy families. So we know that if we provide that service, hey,
put the flyer on there.
That's what's going on. So if we provide the resources for people in our community, then they can help their families. So I think that was one of the big things with Sadie Strong. Also, we give out Sadie Strong love boxes. We try to encourage women along the way, and we celebrate women who are survivors. We have a prayer brunch every year, and it's just really an opportunity. It's really my love letter back to the community for all of the love that was shared to me. I want to make sure that women know their bodies and are taking care of themselves so that we, like we don't want people to die. We don't want the numbers of Black women to continue. We want to educate them. And I want them to see that you can survive.
Yes.
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 And a lot of times women are afraid to go because of, it could be something as simple as, I don't want to lose my hair. I'd rather not know. And you see that with a lot of people, or I don't have insurance. There's so many programs out there that will provide free mammograms and, free assistance. And the other thing that we have to be mindful of is genetic testing. Roswell has a new program out and a whole new department that does genetic testing, and there's free opportunities. And we as Black women aren't tested so that the treatments that they give aren't for us.
Right.
Wow.
They're not tested, right? So they're not doing testing on us.
That's
and so
right.
we have to do that a lot more. So there's a lot of things that we're trying to provide for the community through Sadie Strong. And I thank you all for the opportunity to let me come today and just share a little bit about my story.
Absolutely. And we definitely will network.
Yes.
Sadie Strong Project as well. And also we want to encourage our listeners people who are local, definitely to try to attend this upcoming Saturday, October 4th, the expo that is being provided, because we can't, if we want better, we got to do better. We can't say we want things and we don't attend the things that are being brought for us.
Absolutely. And then say there's nothing there for us.
Absolutely.
Right.
And also for our listeners that are not local, you can always go on to www.sadiestrong.com and check her website out and definitely see the advocacy that she's doing, the programs that she's doing. When is your next walk, Sadie?
We did our walk in July. So
okay.
Yep. Our program year is really from April to October. And then we give, it's one-on-one experiences during that time.
Okay.
And then we pick back up in the spring.
All right.
That's
All right.
wonderful.
So we look forward to being in that walk with you. The Stir 716 will be walking.
Yes.
We will be walking. We will be Sadie Strong
Definitely.
in July. And that's my birthday month. So now I have something more forward to look forward to. So ladies, let's play a little game as we get ready to wrap up. Okay. It's going to be called Myth or Fact. Okay. And we're all still learning because some of this was new to me. Okay. First, myth or fact. Breast cancer only occurs if you have a family history. Myth or fact?
Myth.
Absolute myth. Only about 10 to 15% of breast cancers are caused by inherited mutations in genes like the BRCA1, the BRCA2, and PALB2. Approximately 85% of women diagnosed with breast cancer have no known inherited gene mutations or significant family history. Myth or fact number 2, having BRCA mutations guarantees you'll develop breast cancer.
Myth.
That is a myth. While BRCA1 mutation carry up to a 72% lifetime risk and BRCA2 mutations carry up to a 69% risk, these mutations do not guarantee cancer development. Even with elevated risks, many women with these mutations develop breast cancer. All right, we should all know this one. Men cannot get breast cancer. Myth or fact?
That's a myth.
Definitely.
Okay. Although men do represent only about 1% of all cases, men can develop breast cancer.
Yes.
Okay. Myth or fact? Breast cancer always presents as a lump you can feel. This is for my ladies that we've been told to be doing the testing in the shower. Is this a myth? That is, Oh, y'all smart. I
We
love y'all.
good.
That is a myth. Many women are diagnosed with breast cancer during routine screening before feeling any lump. Mammograms miss about 20% of breast cancers at screening, but they detect most cases earlier than physical examination. So ladies always do both, right?
That's right.
Myth.
That's
All
right.
breast lumps are cancerous.
Myth.
Need not explain further.
Right.
Okay, let's go into some lifestyle environmental factors. These are the ones I like because I've been using deodorant that don't work for my arm because of this myth. Antiperspirants and deodorants cause breast cancer. Myth or fact?
It's a myth.
It's a myth, but I don't think they tested it enough. But
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
can agree with that because why is there aluminum in my deodorants, right? So the fact that there's aluminum in there, we're just gonna go ahead and keep using this coconut oil native.
And that's
Right.
and that's the area where majority of your lymph nodes are.
Absolutely. It says, and Miss Sadie actually gave the best answer. She said, the education behind the myth is that there's no credible scientific evidence that links antiperspirant use to breast cancer risk. There was a 2002 study of 813 women with breast cancer that found no connection between deodorant use and breast cancer risk. So, for us ladies that still like to use anti-aluminum stuff, like, go right ahead. Another myth, myth or fact, underwire bras cause breast cancer.
Myth.
That is a myth. There's no link between any aspect of bra wearing, including underwire use, cup size, hours worn daily. Because I've been told if you want to perk your breast, keep your bra on, sleep in it. I done all kind of things. Now I just let loose. Okay, let's see. The carrying cell phones in bras cause breast cancer. Is that a myth or is that a fact?
I think some studies need to still be done, continuing studies with that.
I don't think
I just don't think it's a good practice.
Right.
I agree because it's radiation. That's like standing in front of the microwave. You know they say don't stand in front of the microwave.
Yeah.
How about just don't do it?
How about that?
How about that? How about that?
All right, let's go down to one more.
Okay.
And I want to stress something too, also to the listeners.
Okay.
Myth or fact? Early stage breast cancer never recurs.
That's a myth.
It's a myth.
There's a myth. I know a lady in my home church that went into remission, got it again, went into remission, got it again. It says while most people with early stage breast cancer won't experience recurrence, the risk never completely disappears. Even 20 years after diagnosis, people with stage 1 low risk hormone receptor positive breast cancer have a 15 to 20% chance of recurrence. The risk is highest in the first 2 to 5 years, but can occur later. And I am a big component of it. It's always about lifestyle as well. After you've been healed, what is your diet looking like? What is exercise and fitness looking like? Because although God is a healer, He's given us everything that we've needed to heal ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
Sadie, I think you can attest to this. I think we need to encourage one another also as Black women to have even every month or something, like encourage one another just to check our breasts out, just to encourage one another. I just think that after October is over, it's like people forget about it because if you're not personally effective, you're not thinking about it. But I think it's something that we need to think about. And this is for the audience that's listening as well. It don't matter what age you are. You don't have to be at 40. You can be younger than 40. Just encourage one another. Instead of just encouraging one another, let's go out and party. Let's go out. Let's do something for breast cancer. Or have you checked your breast today, sis? Those general conversations to one another, just to let each other know I'm there to support you. And also let's just encourage one another to test and get tested.
Yeah.
So Miss Sadie, we're happy you were here with us.
Yes,
to stir awareness, the Stir 716 Stir Awareness. As we get ready to close out, tell us one thing that you want to leave with the listening audience about yourself, or encourage a young woman or a man on their journey.
First of all, I want to thank you all for having me on the show once again. This was really, really wonderful. Your energy was great. And just to be able to share my story, I just want to encourage everyone to really take care of your body, and And I think we have to do a better job of talking about our situations, because one of the things that I realized when I was diagnosed, that I didn't think that I knew anyone who was affected by breast cancer, but when I shared my story, other people shared theirs. And I think by me sharing my story, it showed other people that you can move this mountain.
Yes, yes.
It showed other people. So we have to talk a little bit more about, and like you shared, we have to, check in on each other, So we need to continue to do that. We need to know our body, and we need to not put everybody before ourselves. And we need to stop and take time to make sure that we're good, because if we're not good, we can't be any good for anybody else.
That's true.
So we need to start there. And so that's what I want to leave with the group.
I love it.
I love it. I want to thank you once again. I consider you a friend as well, sis. And I'm so happy for you. I'm always going to support you. And the Stir 716 will definitely be supporting you and others. And for our listeners, if you want to leave a comment, if you have any questions that you want us to ask Ms. Sharon, Sadie Sanford, put in the comment section. We'll definitely send that to her to answer your questions, because there may be some questions that we just didn't discuss tonight, didn't get a chance to discuss, but definitely that you may have that you need answers to, if we can get that for you.
And if there's any more info you want to know, you see it right there on the screen, www.sadiestrong.org. This has been another episode of the Stir 716, where we are stirring conversation and igniting ideas. Be safe and be well, and we will see you again.
All right, peace.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This is Mrs. T, aka The Spark, along with co-host The Doc and our cool cousin Kim. Subscribe to the Stir 716 on the Jazzcast Pros Network, available on all major platforms. New episodes released the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. And remember, the Stir 716, where education meets conversation.